Welcome to The Explainer. Let's start today with a massive reality check about your wealth. We spend so much time obsessing over where to invest, what to buy, and when to sell, right? But we completely ignore the silent engine working in the background of our portfolios. What if I told you a 1% fee can cost you lakhs or even crores over time? Let that sink in for just a second. A tiny, seemingly insignificant 1%. It doesn't sound like a threat, does it? It sounds like pocket change. But the reality of investing is that this tiny fraction holds the power to entirely reshape your financial future. And most investors don't even realize it. They check their portfolios, they see their returns, and they have absolutely no idea that a huge chunk of their potential wealth has been quietly siphoned away. In this explainer, you'll understand what expense ratio is and why ignoring it can silently reduce your wealth.
Okay, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. What is an expense ratio? 2. The 1% example. 3. The hidden compounding impact. 4. Comparing types of funds. 5. Direct versus regular plans. And 6. Common investing mistakes. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. What is an expense ratio? Simply put, the expense ratio is the annual fee charged by a mutual fund or an ETF to manage your investment, and it's always expressed as a percentage. Think of this as the basic cost of doing business in the investing world. You are hiring someone to manage your money, and, well, this is their fee.
So where is that percentage actually going behind the scenes? It pays for the fund management, the research to pick the right assets, and the administrative costs. It's kind of like paying maintenance fees for an apartment. It keeps the lights on and the engine running.
Section 2. The 1% example. Let's bring this to life with a real example. Imagine you have a starting investment of exactly 1 lakh rupees. You've worked hard for this cash, you saved it up, and you decided to put it to work in the market.
Now watch how this flows. You've got your 1 lakh rupee investment. The fund charges a 1% expense ratio. That means 1,000 rupees is deducted annually as fees. 1,000 rupees out of your 1 lakh every single year. Now, $1,000 doesn't sound like a total disaster on day one, but there's a major catch.
The crucial point here is that this is automatically deducted from your returns. You do not pay this separately. You never write a check for it, you never get a bill in the mail. The fund simply skims it right off the top before they even report your returns to you. That's exactly why it goes completely unnoticed by the vast majority of investors. It's practically invisible.
Section 3. The hidden compounding impact. Imagine two funds that perform exactly the same. Fund A has a 1% expense ratio, and Fund B has a 2% expense ratio. Over a long timeline, that higher fee on Fund B doesn't just reduce your returns for that 1 year, it severely slows down your compounding. You end up with significantly lower wealth compared to Fund A. Why? Because when you lose that extra 1% to fees today, you also lose all the future growth that money would have generated for you 10 or 20 years down the line. And this brings us to one of the most powerful truths in investing. Fees don't look big until time makes them big. The less you pay in fees, the more of your money actually stays invested. And the more money that stays invested, the more fuel you have to build real wealth through the magic of compounding. Section 4. Comparing types of funds. Let's look at where these costs are hiding. Actively managed funds rely on a manager who actively selects stocks, trying to beat the market. Because of that extra human effort, their expense ratio is higher. Contrast that with index funds, like one tracking the Nifty 50. This is passive management. It just tracks a sub-list, so the expense ratio is very low. And then ETFs, which are also passive, usually carry the lowest expense ratios of all. Basically, the more active the manager, the more you're going to pay. Section 5. Direct versus regular plans. Beyond the type of fund, how you buy it changes the fee structure entirely. With a direct plan, you go straight to the mutual fund company. No middleman. That means a lower expense ratio. But a regular plan is usually bought through an advisor or broker, which means a higher expense ratio. Why? Because it includes the advisor's commission, and you are secretly paying that commission out of your own returns every single year you hold the fund. Section 6. Common investing mistakes. Let's shatter a couple of huge myths right now. The first misconception is saying, well, 1% is very small. The truth is, as we just learned, it becomes a massive hole in your portfolio over the long term. The second dangerous misconception is higher expense means better returns. People assume if they pay a manager more, they'll definitely make more money. The truth? This is not always true. High fees absolutely do not guarantee high performance, but they do guarantee that a larger chunk of your money is gone.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought to completely reframe how you look at your portfolio. Returns matter, but costs matter just as much. The less you pay in fees, the more you keep. Smart investors don't just look at what a fund might earn, they pay strict attention to what it definitely costs.
Before you log into your brokerage account today, ask yourself, are your investments paying for your retirement, or are they quietly paying for a fund manager's new yacht? In our next explainer, direct versus regular mutual funds, which is better? We're going to dive deep into that to help you decide. Make sure to subscribe now, join us next time, and keep your wealth. See you then.